Hi, welcome or welcome back to Derri's Read It Before. Today I'm going to be talking about the novella, The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince. The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince is a novella that wasn't published until 2013, which is the same year that the last book of the Rainwild Chronicles was written, just before the final trilogy Fits in the Full. So why am I telling you about it now after I've finished talking about live ships and before I begin talking about the Tawny Man books? Well, that's because I think this is the best place to read it. This tiny wee novella tells the story of the Wilful Princess and her son, the Piebald Prince. The Wilful Princess, well, she's a little bit headstrong and she has her way with the stable boy. Her resulting child is the Piebald Prince, a known wit user in the Farseer line. And at this point in the history of the Six Duchies, a few hundred years before the Farseer tale, the wit magic is fully accepted. It's a useful magic, right? The events that we get told about in the Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince is the reason why suddenly the Six Duchies no longer tolerates this sort of magic. It begets a fear and a hatred of the witted that, as we see in Fitz's time, is genuinely life-threatening to those who have the magic, which is why it's become so secretive and why it's been so dangerous for Fitz to show tendencies of it. The story is told from two points of view. It's told from the companion of the princess, who later becomes wet nurse to her son, and the wet nurse's child, the milk brother to this Piebald prince, who grows up to become a bard. And between the two of them, you get the entire story of why this change in opinion around the witted happened. It tells about the factions in the court that caused this hatred, the events that blew everything so far out of proportion, and brings it all back, as Robin Hobb is wont to do, to a personal, characterised story that's heartbreaking. Can you read this Realm of the Elderlings without the novella? Yes, absolutely. It's not intended to be part of the story, of the main body of work. It's an extra. It's in the world. It's context. And that's why I want to talk about it now before we go into Tawny Man. In world, there's about a 7 or 8 year gap between the end of Live Ships and Ship of Destiny, which I spoke about last time, and Fool's Errand, which I'll talk about next time. In that time, things have become very tense in the Six Duchies around witted folk. And we begin to see that when we pick up Fool's Errand. So if you haven't read The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince, this is something that you pick up from context as you're reading through Fool's Errand. These things are going to become a much bigger deal throughout that trilogy. So if you do read the novella, you've just got a richer base of context, and that's a great thing. It just makes that subplot in the Tawny Man trilogy that much easier to follow. It's a great little novella on its own. If you found that little bit of insight to the novella helpful, hit like. If you want to come back and hear more about the Tawny Man and books afterward, hit subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on whether or not it helped or hindered your read, let me know in the comments. As it goes, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you next time.